A young man was eager to learn martial arts. He had heard of a legendary master who lived in a remote mountain village. He decided to travel there and seek his guidance. He arrived at the village after a long and arduous journey. He asked the villagers where he could find the master. They pointed him to a small hut at the edge of the forest. He knocked on the door and waited. The door opened, and an old man with a long white beard greeted him. He had a calm and serene expression on his face. He looked at the young man and said, "What do you want?" The young man bowed respectfully and said, "Master, I have come to learn from you. I am devoted to studying your martial system. How long will it take me to master it?" The old man smiled and said, Come in. Let me make you some tea." He invited the young man into his hut and poured him a cup of hot tea. They sat down and chatted for a while. The old man asked him about his background, his motivation, and his goals. The young man answered eagerly, hoping to impress the master with his enthusiasm and dedication. After some time, the old man said, "You have a good spirit and a strong will. You are sincere and humble. You have the potential to become a great martial artist. But you must be patient and diligent. It will take you 10 years to master my martial system." The young man was shocked. He had expected to learn much faster than that. He thought of all the time and effort he had invested in coming here. He thought of all the things he had left behind in his hometown. He thought of all the opportunities he would miss if he stayed here for 10 years. He said, "But master, I want to master it faster than that. I will work very hard. I will practice every day, 10 or more hours a day if I have to. How long will it take then?" The old man shook his head and said, 20 years. The young man was stunned. He couldn't believe what he heard. He said, "How can that be? How can it take longer if I work harder?" The old man said, "Martial arts is not just about physical skills. It is also about mental balance, emotional harmony, and spiritual awareness. It is about understanding yourself and your opponent, your strengths and your weaknesses, your opportunities and your threats. It is about adapting to different situations, changing your strategy, and improvising your tactics. It is about being flexible, creative, and intuitive. If you practice too much, too hard, too fast, you will lose sight of these aspects. You will become rigid, mechanical, and predictable. You will develop bad habits, flaws, and blind spots. You will burn out your body, mind, and spirit. You need to practice with moderation, balance, and variety. You need to rest, reflect, and relax. You need to enjoy the process, not just the outcome. You need to learn from others, not just yourself. You need to live in the present, not just the future. That is why it will take you 20 years if you practice too much." The young man was speechless. He realized that the old man was right. He had been too eager, too impatient, too ambitious. He had overlooked the deeper meaning of martial arts. He bowed his head and said, "Master, I apologize for my ignorance and arrogance. Please forgive me for my foolishness and impudence. Please teach me your martial system with your wisdom and compassion." The old man smiled and said, "Very well then. You have shown humility and repentance. You have learned your first lesson today. Now let us begin." The moral lesson of the story is that quality is more important than quantity when it comes to learning and mastering a skill. The young man thought that by practicing more, he would achieve his goal faster. But he did not realize that he was neglecting the other aspects of martial arts, such as the mental, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. He was also missing out on the joy and satisfaction of learning and growing as a person. The old man taught him that he needed to slow down, balance his practice, and appreciate the journey. By doing so, he would not only master martial arts, but also himself.